Alright, so this video is entitled, "This is Why Men Are So Frustrated with Women." Let me just pin this here. Alright, so I posted the post that I did earlier today, and I realized that I did not do the best job in the way I laid out the argument, and so I wanted to come back and just clarify so that it's really, really clear. Because some people objected and I realized like the way I said it sounded confusing. So I just want to really just make it clear what I am trying to say. As women, specifically in the 60s, women have fought back against the structure of the home. And a lot of people, actually myself included, a few years back, I was acting like the movement in the 60s was this new thing as far as women working outside the home. But some people reminded me women have been working outside the home a lot, or not even outside the home. They have had careers, There have been women who have had side hustles. So many women, were seamstresses or hairdressers, and they supplemented the family's income. Okay. So what was it that changed in the 60s? Okay. With the feminist movement, what happened in the 60s was that women were being given the propaganda that you no longer need a man. It was, you don't need a man to get you to where you're going. Prior to the 60s, people valued the family unit. Man brought this, woman brought this, together we are better. In the 60s, there was a liberation. Didn't know we weren't free. We've always been free. But there was this liberation from men. Liberation from men is like saying, I'm going to liberate you from your food. I'm going to liberate you from your warm coat in the wintertime. I'm going to liberate you from your sunscreen. I'm going to liberate you. Okay, I'm going to liberate you from that roof over your head. Get out of that house. Go live on the street. You're liberated now. It's freezing cold. Take that coat off. Now you're liberated. Do you guys see where I'm going here? The message was, you need to be liberated. It's the same way with sexual freedom. In the 60s, it was taught, keeping your legs closed, you are repressing yourself. You are suppressing your desires. Be liberated. Now we have become liberated that we sleep with anyone we want. And we can make children with strangers. We are we're so liberated now. We are liberated to get STDs. We are liberated to become statistics. All of this liberation was sold to women on a silver platter, and it was to their destruction. So I have just been speaking about how it hurts women. If you guys didn't catch the sarcasm that I was using when I talked about liberation. The reason I titled this video is why men are frustrated with women is because the women have bought the lie, hook, line, and sinker, that you are the same as men. So women have begun to act like men. Men are self-sufficient. Men go out and just get it done. Men focus on the bag. A man comes out of his parents' house around 18 years old and has laser focus on a career. Once he achieves a certain status, he's now in a position where he can be a provider. First, he provides for himself, and when he gets to a certain level, he can also provide for a wife and eventually for children. Once he reaches a certain level of provision, he then begins to look for a helper. Help her. Okay? Let's phrase that myself. So, let's quickly go back. Leaves his mommy and daddy's home. Goes out and gets the ability to provide for himself. Once he gets his sea legs, he makes enough to provide for a helper. And eventually enough for a helper and his children. Then he looks for a wife. Go with me, y'all. I'm going somewhere. The movement in the 60s said, you don't need that man. You can do it. Well, yeah, you can. I can also walk outside in 20 below weather. I can also kiss someone in the mouth who has COVID. Just because I can doesn't mean I should. Okay? Think it through. Why is this a problem for a woman to leave her house at age 18? Have laser focus on a career so that she can amass enough to provide for herself. Why? Why is that a problem? Because now that you've amassed enough for yourself, you have enough to provide for a husband and one day children, but oopsie, you don't like to provide for a man. Why not? He can provide for you. I don't want to build a bear, but plenty of men build bears all day long. They marry strictly off of potential. She could live in her parents' basement and they'll scoop her up. So what's the issue? Oh, you don't want to look for a husband. Oh, because you don't want to pursue him. That's beneath you to pursue him. Okay. So you don't want to provide for him. You don't want to pursue him. And you don't want to protect him. So if you guys are walking down a dark alley and something goes bump, you're going to make fun of him if he jumps behind you and squeals? If you have heavy bags, you want him to carry them? If there's something gross, you want him to pick it up or kill it if it's a bug? Let's see, what is that called? Why should he have to do it? A gender role. Oh, there's a gender role. So because of what's between his legs, he should provide for you. He should protect you, and he should be the one to pursue you. He should do all the gross stuff. Okay, so there are clear-cut rules on what he should do because what's between his legs. Okay, so I'm all about principles. So I'm just trying to make sure I clearly understand the principle. Okay. So because of his reproductive organs, there are set things that are required of him, and if he bucks against it, he's not a real man. Got it. Okay. Now, if you're new to my page, what you will learn is that I love a principle because a principle will stay a principle no matter who's applying it. All right? So, if your reproductive organs come with an attached set of rules and regulations, can you see where there's a problem when a woman says, don't tell me what I should or shouldn't do simply because of my reproductive organs? Doublestandards.com. That is why men are frustrated with women. They are saying, I want to be like a man in the sense that I am laser focused on the money, but I don't want to use that money to provide for anyone except myself. Even if I have a partner, I don't want that money for anyone but myself. I don't want to pursue. I want the man to do that. And I don't want to protect. So, what do we do? We compromise. This is where we put on our big old big girl panties. I'm talking those big parachute panties that like come up to here. You got to put one leg in on a time. They're real big sturdy panties. You got to put them big girl panties on. And recognize that while it's not fun to have a certain role assigned to you just because of what's, well, not between your legs, your reproductive organs, if you think it sucks, then understand it sucks for him too. That's the goose and the gander. What's good for the goose, what's good for the goose should be good for the gander. That's an old school phrase. Pot, kettle, hey, nice to meet you. All right? We're all in the kitchen together. We're all in the cupboard together. You cannot cry and say, this is archaic. This is so old school. This is demeaning. Because then you have to turn around and say, oh, I'm being old school. I'm being archaic. I'm being demeaning. So I say, ladies, pick a struggle. Either act like a man and see it all the way through, or act like a lady and enjoy the perks of being a lady. I'm not mad at being a lady. I like having someone carry my luggage for me. I like someone killing bugs on command. I like someone taking the lead. I love being financially cared for. I love being loved sacrificially the way God says that man should love a woman. And in exchange, what did he tell me to do? He said, respect him, submit to him. Okay, Daddy, where do I sign up? That is a small, small price to pay. I'm going to treat you with respect. When you have a question, I'm not going to buck at you. What? Why'd you say that? I'm going to say, I wouldn't have concluded that. Can you help me understand how you came to that conclusion? Or how about this? I don't understand, but I trust you. Oh, I know you wouldn't steer us wrong. So, okay, babe. That energy will take you so far. What I have learned about men, because I used to be bitter. I was bitter because I didn't understand men. And I had a couple encounters with some toxic men. And I did the thing that a lot of women do, is I just painted with a broad brushstroke. All men are like this. And what I realized is that most men are just misunderstood. I actually think it's really precious because between the two genders, men have this, like, you guys, I'm not trying to be demeaning, but it's like, they're like puppies. Dogs are so, like, you could literally almost like beat a puppy and the next day he's kind of like, all right, well, that was yesterday. Like, dogs are so loyal. And I see men that way. They're like, they take this thing like super seriously. What a lot of men do, though, is because they don't know how to deal with their pain and their trauma, they will escape, they will compartmentalize, and that usually ends up in cheating and stuff. But it's because they're really, really hurt and they don't know how to say, I'm hurting. I feel like everywhere else I get respected, but when I come home, I'm treated like a second-class citizen. I feel like when I want to make love, like, it's like, ugh, all right, I don't feel like you desire me. Like, you never initiate with me. I feel like the kids come first. I feel like, we had our kids and now I'm just like, hi, anyone care about me? I'm over here. I feel like nothing I ever do is good enough. I feel like I can't provide enough. Like, no matter what, I could give you $1 million and you'd be mad it wasn't $1.5 million. Most men I have found, and these are private conversations where they have no reason to lie. Most men say, I just want this. That's it. I don't need a fancy car. I don't need bling bling. I don't need praise on social media. Just every now and then give me this. Attaboy. Good job. And a little cookie. That's it. Feed him. Feed him. And attaboy. That's it. You give a guy an attaboy and you play with him every now and then, have some fun with him, he's good. We as women, We need the world. He said, well, not just that. Okay, I would say 4 things. They need to be fed. They need the tank emptied. They need to feel affirmed. And they need to have fun with you. I would say you could really narrow down the things that guys want in those 4 things. Have fun with them, have sex with them, feed him, make him feel like he's valued, wanted. That's it. Let me know if there's anything else to add. That's really the basics. And ironically, most women put the sex at the top. Really, it's more I've seen. Show me that I'm needed and wanted. And then have some fun with me. Sex, feed. Oh, yeah. I would just say the biggest priority is just make him feel wanted. Like everything else he can kind of figure out. He can get his own food sometimes, but he needs to feel wanted. Nobody else can make him feel wanted like his woman can make him feel wanted, is what I'm trying to say. The other stuff he can do on his own. I mean, literally can do the other stuff on his own too. So that's why I say it's at the top. Most men need to feel like they're appreciated. And then he wants to have fun with her. But again, if he can't have fun with her, he'll go out with his buddies. So really the appreciation is the one thing he cannot do on his own. And that's the one thing that the women usually refuse to give. Because ego. Why do I need to pat him on the head? You want to be patted on your head, you just get patted in a different way. You want to be told you're beautiful. And that he adores you and he loves you. And blah, 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 blah. Women want the sappy stuff. Men want to feel needed. Why do you think us women who understand this stuff, we're like, oh, I need help. I can't open this. No, I'm good and well. We can just do this. Okay? And I'm using a very basic example, but you need to find a way to make your man feel wanted. Especially in bed. For so many men, it's not the actual sex. It's the feeling of feeling wanted with sex. So when you never initiate with your man, you're just like, all right, come get it. It defeats the purpose. He may as well masturbate. Can we just be 100? He wants to feel wanted and needed. So let him know you need that big old thing. Bring that big old thing over here. I was just thinking about that big old thing all day. Whatever you need to do. Just like make him feel wanted. Make him feel needed. I kind of like to think of them as little boys who want their mom's love. It's just it's not perverted. I'm making a comparison, but it's like a little boy just wants his mom to say, good job, Johnny. Good job. Oh, mommy's so proud of you. Put your picture on the fridge. Oh, come here. Good job. Boys want that in a wife, but in a wife way. They will go out and kill themselves, but they just want to hear, good job. They're like, okay, I got it. All right, on to the next week. Next week, good job. Okay, and go to the next one. They're so simple and precious that way. And then just like a girl, she wants her daddy in a husband. She wants to know that no matter what, he's not going anywhere. She's safe, she's loved, and she's going to be taken care of, even when she acts like a little brat. That's it. We want what our parents give. In a simple way, if women treated us like they do their sons, child, you ain't never lied. So many women treat their sons like kings and princes, but they won't treat their man the same way. Because they see the potential in their son. They see the innocence in their son, but they can't see it in the man. And a lot of times it's because the man doesn't have the tools to communicate. This I'm telling you guys, as a couples counselor, nothing makes me more sad when I see a man who just needs to be loved and I see a woman who just needs to be loved, but when they come together, they are combative. Because it's easier to go into this masculine energy of protecting yourself than to be vulnerable and put your guard down. There are men who are like, babe, I'm trying so hard, but I feel like I could never please you. That's hard to say. It's easier to go, man, you're never satisfied with anything. But who wants to hear, you're never satisfied with anything? That's just like point the finger, point the finger, point the finger. It's easier when you come from a place of vulnerability because vulnerability evokes empathy from a healed person. Vulnerability in front of a toxic person is ammunition. This is why I say be careful who you're with, because you'll change your MO when you should be changing the partner. Don't change being soft and vulnerable. Change the garbage partner. Sorry, I shouldn't say garbage. The unhealed partner who hasn't done the work yet. Because I used to be a garbage partner. I worked for the city of sanitation. Child. But it was not intentional. I was doing my best at the time. When you learn better, you do better. So my goal is to let women know the things that men are saying privately, because the men are hurting. But if the men say it, most women get too triggered to actually listen. So they shut the men down before they can even get their full thoughts out. And because the men are speaking from a place of pain, sometimes they don't say it in a way that's easy to digest. But it doesn't make it not true. So I'm willing to come along and put in the that makes it palatable. I want to take their pain and I want to put it into feminine energy that women can understand. And one of the biggest things, women, that we struggle with is we don't hold ourselves to the same standard. This is why in my content, I so often say, but what would you do the other way around? I gave the example yesterday with the lady who was hiding money. What did the women say? Well, I could see why she's protecting herself. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Pause. What would be the male equivalent? Would the end justify the means for you? If the man did something that was secretive, but his reason was because he was putting together a plan, if there was failure in the relationship, would you be just as quick to say, oh, I can understand? From my experience, that would be a lie. We as women, unfortunately, we tend to look at things self-centeredly. We look at everything from our vantage point. And then when the shoe's in their foot, we keep looking at it from our vantage point. So if they do the exact same thing that we do, they are Satan himself. And if we do it and they have a problem with it, they're Satan because they don't understand and empathize with us. Can you see how that would be frustrating? My thing is pick a lane. Like, either we're all going to do this or we're all going to do this. But what you're not going to do is this, and then call me evil for doing the same thing. So we all going to do this or we all going to do this. No. This is why men get upset. So I hope you guys keep listening to these conversations, keep having an open mind, keep praying for me that I can speak in a way that resonates to people and sounds loving, because if I don't sound loving, people will shut down and they won't get this message. There's another content creator that we have lost who was trying to speak a lot of truths, but it wasn't resonating with a lot of women for reasons I won't say why. But a lot of those truths were very, very true. And these truths will set people free. My goal is to speak the truth in a way that is totally surrounded in love and that leaves people feeling hopeful for the future and encouraged. I don't want people to walk around feeling ashamed of their past. I don't want anyone to leave feeling hopeless about their future. Oh, but I need people to leave knowing the truth. The truth sets you free. And so many people get in relationships and those people try to tell them about themselves. And instead of dealing with what they've been told, told they get rid of the partner. It's like this. I could have lotion on my face, and I'm cool going through life because I'm like, you can't tell me nothing. I look good. And then I get with a partner and they're like, you got a little lotion on your face. Like, man, mind your business. What are you talking to me about? Worry about your own problems. I don't need lotion on my face. So I get rid of that guy. And then the next guy comes along. Hey, you got a little lotion on your face. And I'm like, these men are so toxic. These narcissists keep talking about, why don't they worry about their problems? And then guy after guy after guy after guy after guy keeps telling me about the lotion on my face. And maybe one day I humble myself and I say, I wonder if they're not narcissists. You know what? Let me actually take a minute, get some therapy. Let me look in the mirror. Oh my God. There was lotion on my face. Relationships are meant to be a mirror. Healthy relationships are meant to be a helpful mirror. And I don't want your first instinct to be to shut down when you're given negative feedback, what you see as negative feedback. It's just an opportunity for correction so that you can put your best foot forward into the world and you can be more enjoyable as a partner. You must take the time to heal, to find out why you're so defensive. And tomorrow I'm going to be posting about PTSD that comes from emotional PTSD is there any other way? PTSD that comes from abandonment issues and how it shows up in relationships. And one of the biggest signs is defensiveness. Most people get defensive because subconsciously they're hearing, I'm not worthy of love. But when you have a healthy partner, they went into it knowing you're not perfect, okay? That's the big secret. They know you're not perfect. And they know that during a lifetime, you two are going to sharpen each other. Iron is going to sharpen iron. But if you have PTSD from abandonment issues, you just hear, I'm not happy with you, therefore eventually I'm going to leave you. And that scares you. So kudos to everyone who has battled their demons and said, screw my pride. I want to know if there's anything on my face. That's where peace comes in. How do you pick a compatible mate? Man, that is a great question. I don't have time to answer right now as my battery is dying. But the biggest thing is, I would say, I'll try to say it quickly this way. Know yourself first. Because if you don't know yourself, you're never going to be able to introduce yourself to someone else. And that's actually a lot more complex than it sounds. It's like, well, I know myself. I've lived with myself for all these years. No. Knowing yourself, the good, the bad, the ugly, your subconscious, your conscious, that's deep to know yourself. When you truly know yourself, then you can present yourself to somebody else. And you know what you can deal with, what you can't deal with. Like for me, for example, I can't deal with a raised voice. There's no need, because we can do all this calmly. There's no need. If you have to scream and curse at me to get your point across, you think that's what you have to do? No, we're not going to do that. I don't need that energy in my life. So you have to know yourself so you can know what your deal breakers are and things like that. But compatibility is all about finding the common denominators, the things that are most critical to you, making sure you're aligned. Like for me, that person needs to have a relationship with God. Because if you don't, you are not going to be humble enough. You're not going to be malleable enough. You are not going to have a servant's heart. You are not going to love unconditionally. So picking a compatible mate means what things are the most important to you, and finding a person who shares those values so you are not constantly butting heads. It's like I'm using centimeters and you're using, millimeters? No, what am I thinking? Like pounds and kilograms. Like every time we're having to constantly figure it out instead of just being in sync. I say 12 inches, you say 12 inches. Like if you don't have those basic metrics the same, it is like pulling teeth. So find your most important things and then become compatible. If you're masculine, find someone who's feminine. Compatibility is what works together, the yin and your yang. So don't try to find someone who's just like you. Find someone who's balanced, who balances you, who's compatible. Who what's the word? Complements you. Okay? So that is the spirit in which I'm coming. How many of you are new, by the way? How many of you guys joined my page like this week or the last 2 weeks? I'm curious to know. There is a huge movement. There's a huge movement that is coming. And, you know, a pioneer left us today. And there's a huge space that needs to be filled. Oh, are you new? Is that what the hand is for? So hello, Flower Bomb. You guys, my dream is to create a wave where people actually take the time and heal. Where instead of just saying, I'm just writing off men, I'm just writing off women, it's let me figure out how to discern between a healthy woman and a wounded woman. Because a wounded woman shouldn't be hated either. She just needed to be loved on. Now, I'm not saying loved on in a relationship, love her from a distance, but you will not treat her with disgust and contempt. You will see her for what she is, a wounded woman. And you will honor her wounds and you will be gentle with her. You'll gentle, but over there. And so we gotta stop. That's the first thing. We have to stop categorizing everyone as unhealed. Because there are some beautiful men just waiting for a wife. And there are some beautiful women waiting for husbands. But we have to work on our discernment so that we stop spending 5, 6, 8 years with toxic behaving people with toxic behavior. And then we want to be bitter because we didn't walk away. And now we want to say all men suck. No, mama. You got to work on your discernment. Because that guy, he wouldn't have even made it past the dating app with me. He wouldn't have even gotten the phone number. He wouldn't have even gotten a chance at the first date. He would not have been able to sleep with me. You not only slept with him, you had a baby with him. And now you want to say everyone else is the problem? You, buddy, you're bitter at women because they use you. I'm sorry, but your discernment should have been up that she had a problem with the restaurant you picked. She didn't pay attention to the entire date. She was more concerned about taking photos for Instagram. She doesn't even know your last name and you guys have been going out for 3 months. There were a lot of signs and her big old booty had you distracted. So is it really her or is it your lack of discernment? We have to take ownership for our part in what we keep missing when it comes to toxic behavior. And we also have to do our part to heal. I teach this stuff, but I'm healing on a daily basis. There's so much that I'm realizing about my subconscious mind that I'm having to work through. And it comes through prayer and reading the Word of God. And God is showing me where my pride is still an issue. God is showing me where my lack of patience is an issue. God is showing me where my trust is an issue. We need to constantly be improving. ABI, always be improving. So I went way off on a tangent. Hope you guys enjoyed it though. Because you're sticking around. But this all started why men are frustrated with women. So I always post my live streams to YouTube, so I'll post it there probably either tonight or tomorrow. Because it's almost midnight here in Cali. But I wanted to share that. Oh, thank you, Taisha. Thank you, Charles. I want people to come together and enjoy each other. I've got a chance to experience 4 marriages through my Facebook group. The fifth one, no, 5 marriages, because they just tied the knot. I've had a chance to see what it looks like when healed people come together, and it is a beautiful thing. So I just want to encourage you, if you're feeling discouraged about the state of dating, people are just people. There are a lot of good people left, and there are a lot of people who have good intentions, but they don't have the tools. So don't be discouraged. If you desire marriage, you're going to get married. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep pressing towards the mark of the prize of the high calling. And all these good things will be added unto you. I remixed those verses, by the way. So don't come at me, y'all, like, she misquoted that. I was remixing, okay? When you focus on God and you press towards the mark, delight thyself in the Lord, and he'll give you the desires of your heart, okay? So just keep focusing, keep your eyes on him, and you will attract exactly who you should attract. People be people, and I like that, Lawrence. I love you guys so much. Thank you, Brian. Thank you. I just want you guys to feel my heart. I want you guys to feel my heart, and it's so full of love. I really do understand. I really do. And I know how much you guys are hurting because so many people are on social media venting and declaring things from a place of hurt and pain. And every day you see something that's disparaging against your gender, probably disparaging against your race, and it can feel stressful. So be protective of your energy. Unfollow people who have toxic conversations. Don't get into debate with people who are being toxic in their delivery. You protect your heart, because you might not realize it, but you're getting bitter. And when the real person comes along, the good person, the healthy person, you're going to be so bitter and jaded that you're going to have a hard time turning that off. So stay soft, men. If you're the type of dude who likes to spoil a woman, buy her flowers, treat her well, don't let the woman who didn't like that make you harden and say, I ain't doing that ever again. No. Because the right one, she deserves that. And ladies, don't get so calloused and say, every single man is going to hurt me, use me. Because there's going to be a guy who he's waited his whole life to give you his love. And you're going to be so hard, he can't penetrate. Stay open. Stay open to love. Protect your energy. Focus on things that bring you joy. The Bible says, whatever things are lovely, pure, think of these things. Change the music you listen to. Don't listen to music that talks about bees and hoes. Don't talk about music that says men are trash. That's going in your subconscious mind. You can't say hypnotherapy works and then hypnotize yourself with music all day long and think it's not going to have an effect in your subconscious mind. You need to play stuff in your mind, your thoughts, the music, the movies, the TV shows, the people you're around. That stuff feeds into your subconscious mind. So when I think about men, can I talk to my brothers? When I think about the black man, I don't think about the ones that are messing up. I think about the beautiful, beautiful men who are strong, powerful, leaders, sexy. Just that swag like nobody else can do. When you think about sisters, think about that beautiful, beautiful skin, that walk, the way they're stacked. This is no shade to the others. I'm just talking about the fact that we have a lot of internal struggles. So we're talking family talk right now, okay? So y'all others, just bear with me. But think about the strength of that woman the resiliency, her love. Think about the civil rights movement, all the women who put themselves on the line physically to protect their men. There's a lot to still be proud of. We will not let the naysayers ruin it for everyone else. There's so much love in our community still. There's so much success in our community still. There is so much to be proud of in our community. All right, guys. Until next time, please tell someone that you love them. Text them right now. Text them. I don't care if it's the middle of the night. Text them, DM them, anything. Just lean over and kiss them. But tell someone that you love them. And I hope that it's apparent just how much I love you. Until next time, God bless you.